Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dollar Hour. A happy Thursday. I'm sorry, I'm about to say happy. Forgot my happy Thursday, but welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. We got an awesome show planned today. I want to share some information with you guys that I think a lot of small business owners or people that be potential entrepreneurs and small business owners need to take heed of. And there's five common reasons small businesses fail. Again, there's five common reasons that small businesses fail. A lot of times people want to go down the road of entrepreneurship, start a business up, or they're currently in business. They make some errors that you know how it is. Nobody get in trouble on purpose, but they do things that probably when they look back at it, they're probably one of them dumb moments. So I want to discuss those again. So again, if we're talking about five common reasons small businesses fail. What's going on, Trade Nicole? What's going on, Dread the General? I see people coming in and everything. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel where we have over 900 videos covering entrepreneurship, business, finance, and investing. Please, if you do have to leave in the middle of the show, regardless of what platform that you're on, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Get us Mr. Short Dollar YouTube. You can Google it. Take it to the YouTube channel. You can be able to subscribe from there and check out the video in its whole entirety. Also, we got a live call in. You want to call in and add to the discussion, feel free to call in. The call in number is 678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894. What's going on? What's the natural guru? Appreciate you tuning in. What I about to say, man, we just wrapped up tax season. Tax season 15th was Monday. That was my 23rd straight tax season. So my compliments just to be in the service. We did pretty good. This tax season was rough, lad. Well, I mean, it was successful,
right?
But it was rough, man.
Right.
And this was my first tax season since my divorce. What's going on, Sexy Redbone? This was my first tax season since my divorce where I was just free.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I went on no kind of boards. I wasn't treasurer, this, that, and that.
Okay.
So I could just do my business. Yeah,
concentrate on your business.
Yeah, and we did well, man. And I appreciate everybody came in and supported the business. 23 years in the game. With doing that. So I mean, awesome tax season. Still got some people still coming in, but I just want to tell everybody, thanks from the bottom of my heart for supporting, me and my businesses and everything like that. And we've been trying to over deliver over all the years. So yeah, appreciate that. But it went cool.
I can't be sad for you having too much business. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
we discussed that. I can't be sad because you got too much business.
Well,
I'd be sad if you didn't have any business, but too much business is not a bad thing.
That car don't move like it used to.
I know, right?
Boy, in my 20s, boy, I could put it in.
Yeah, you put it in. You sleep 2 hours and go 22 of them, huh?
Shit, my head be needing naps. I can't even see it. I can't even see the damn paperwork now.
Preach it to the choir. About that.
Man, damn that.
I get one every day. I try to get one in every day.
Yeah. Yeah, but things have changed, and but really, man, we did exceptionally well. So I appreciate everybody that helped us. When we talk about small business can face a range of challenges that can contribute to their failure.
Oh, what's going on, Slick? I'm sorry.
Oh man, I'm sorry. First one gets say what's up to my awesome producer, DJ Lab
and Slick 316.
And Slick 316. What's up, Rika? I apologize. Reek, my heart in the right place, but mine in a whole nother damn galaxy.
He add numbers still, Reek. He add numbers.
Damn, Poochie. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. But now, man, what I was saying, small businesses, they face a lot of challenges, but there are some common reasons why small businesses fail. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times what happens, me being very honest with you, because with me outside of taxis, most of the time, we're doing the bookkeeping and payroll, but we also do a lot of business consulting, i.e. hence what the YouTube channel where we give out free information. A lot of times, Lab, and people feel they know enough because they have, somewhat experience.
Right.
But a lot of times, the money or the opportunity to do something.
Right.
So they don't really take a lot of time to do any kind of due diligence to find out. In particular, if they is this generally a good idea, a bad idea, good opportunity, bad opportunity, and they just move.
Okay.
And I think we seen over the past 5 years especially going through the pandemic, you had a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot. And I think what we have now is just a funky reality.
What they call that? The market is correcting.
Yeah, it's correcting, adjusted, and we're getting back to normal. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why you see so many people acting crazy about getting Trump in office. I don't want to talk about political things. Mm-hmm. Well, we get the economy. I think because people are getting stimulus checks and all that kind of stuff, mm-hmm. and getting opportunities to get loans and do all kind of stuff. Like it seemed like it was better. But at the end of the day, when you want to go down a certain path or entrepreneurship, do things like that, there are certain disciplines and structures. We talk about this all the time in the channel, like outside of money. Right. But that's one of the number one things when we get phone calls to people that see the YouTube channel, the business, how we get the grants, how we can get the money. Uh-huh. And people think the money will solve their problem. Right. It's not that. You know, at the end of the day, as soon as you get the money, that shit gonna disappear in a certain amount of time because you still don't know what to do with the money.
You don't know how to use it properly.
Exactly. And you don't want to listen to somebody that's gonna tell you, because what people tell you what to do is probably not matching with your vision. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's happened, man. I mean, you see that right now. One of the biggest things was everybody doing a couple of years ago. Everybody was trucking.
Yeah.
They done bought them overpriced trucking. The rates done dropped. All kind of stuff now. Now everybody back working for a company. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And it's not to laugh at nobody or picking nobody or anything like that. Definitely not that. But that side is that side. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right. Sometimes it's not a jab, but it's just reality. Mm-hmm. Some folk need to be working, and some folk can be owning. Mm-hmm. It ain't meant for everybody.
True.
We can sit here and go through it. Now you can try it.
Right.
You can try it, but it ain't meant for everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You talk about it all the time when you say why the CEO get paid so much. The CEO has to do a lot of things.
Well, you got to draft for everybody. You got to draft. Yeah. That's when you start talking about a strategic level. Mm-hmm. That's a whole different animal. And it's not, if you own it or working, it's not a right or wrong. But you got to, like I always say, you got to be realistic about how you are. Yeah,
you know who you are. Exactly. You deal with you every day.
Yeah, if you want to get paid when you do it, you need to be working. Right. If you feel like you want to be able to move, do what you're doing, you're okay with getting paid later, you just doing planting several seeds, you might get handle entrepreneurship, but you got to be realistic. And so what we're talking about, just some of the common reason why small businesses fail. I want to have that discussion with you guys, but not only we're going to talk about it in regard to 5 common reasons small businesses fail, also, most importantly, how to avoid them.
Okay.
How to avoid them. That's one of the most important things with that.
Say hey to mama.
Hey, what's up, mama? I just got a phone with mama a little while ago. Why my mama asked me if I was going to stop by her house when I leave the show? No, mama.
Say no, mama.
No, mama. I'm going home, mama.
Sorry, mama. We not visiting.
Yeah. At night, boy. Yeah, I'll see you this weekend.
We'll see you this weekend, mama.
Well,
try to start here, not a heart.
There you go. Shoot, boy, I'm tired, man. I got to do some work when I leave here. When we start talking about those 5 common reasons that small businesses fail, and again, guys, feel free to call in. The call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, the call-in number is, call the show, not the phone. The call-in number is 678-740-9894. Right. The first one I want to talk about, and it is, a common thing with a lot of people, that's insufficient capital. Mm-hmm. And this includes realistic financial projection. No, I'm sorry. Many small businesses fail due to inadequate capital or poor financial management. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, those things, when you sit there and say, okay, I want to start this particular business up, be it, construction, service, restaurant, whatever, you know how much money it's going to cost, or you have an idea, or none at all. And I think most people really don't have any idea at all. They just look at potential investors and whatever. What I found over the past couple of years, especially with doing, being on the fundraising committee on several, nonprofits, most of these folks, they don't even own the place. They got so many damn investors with it. They just they're cool with letting them just be the face of it and saying they don't own it. They don't even really own their stuff.
Oh wow!
They're the face and tell people they own it, but they're in a position they probably assuming most of the risk.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
Right.
But someone else in the back on the backside is investing or furnishing the business for them. you got to make sure at the end of the day, when you start looking at, the inadequate finance, again, we're talking about the most common reason, that being insufficient capital. You got to make sure you start your business up. You got enough to start it up, but you also got to make sure you got enough to run. People say 6 months. I say a whole year. And most importantly, you got to make sure that you don't look at replacing your job with your business. Most of the time, banks ain't gonna give you no loan if you got in the financial projections your salary. Now they got a salary for employees,
right?
But not you.
Not you.
You know that you see what I'm saying? I remember that vividly with getting those SBA loans back in the day. What's up, little bit? Some sister tuned in. You can't have no projections about what you're gonna have for yourself. Cause see, that's what it is. I've said this before. Most people don't necessarily want a business. They'll say that.
Right.
They just want a job. They're either gonna pay them some more money or give them some more freedoms or titles.
Well, we say that they want the business owner lifestyle, not necessarily the headache.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's a whole different dynamic now. Everybody coming to you. When you can be the person that everybody goes to at a job, but you still can leave a job and that's whatever. You got to deal with the headaches. When your livelihood depends on it, or you might lose your house, your car, and all that stuff because you're trying to take care of some things. That's a whole different dynamic. That's a whole different dynamic. So I think people got to just take that consideration. So with that first one being insufficient capital, I really don't think a lot of times people really look at that enough. What's going on? LT Radio, you tuning in. Appreciate that. When you look at from a monetary standpoint, remember what I'm saying, guys. Make sure that you got enough to start the business up and that working capital also to keep it going for a year. And not only just pay the bills, but have advertising. If you need to have more management, more people working, that's very important.
Right.
That's very important. People a lot of times get so caught up with focusing on with doing, starting it up and getting started, and they figure, okay, we get to make some sales, get to doing certain things. It happened. Had a cat call me the other day. He ain't put about a business there, but he was just a listener on the YouTube channel. He hit me up. He said, "Yeah, man, I'm trying to look at getting some of them grants or loans or whatever."
Okay.
He said, "I'm looking to get started in trucking."
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take my trucking business and then get started investing in real estate.
Okay.
Some real Atlanta shit.
Okay.
like I just said, I'm sitting here listening like, oh.
Right. Okay.
No, I'm telling you, it was no.
You gonna use the capital from trucking?
I'm gonna start the trucking.
Right.
Take that and then go buy some real estate.
Okay.
Like this stuff just easy peasy.
Well, I mean,
no hell, lad. No hell, lad.
I'm trying, and maybe it's his confident in himself.
Man, come on. It's not having confidence in yourself, is being realistic about how things are, or really being not the bad, which is ignorant, not knowing how things go.
Right.
And you don't even know if you're gonna be successful there. You don't even know if you got,
I was just thinking that, like,
but he just pulled that out of that, like, yeah, I'm gonna do that, then do that, like.
He got caught up in the whole.
But that's at Atlanta.
Advertising of how much truckers make, and you can make $10,000 a week minus the $8,000 for gas.
Nah, that's just state of Georgia. Everybody got a business, and everybody just think that it's
everybody's celebrity, and everybody got a business.
Yeah, and when you start talking about you want to start making some change, man, it's a whole lot more difficult than that. And I just when I heard him and everything, I didn't even, I think he was being genuine,
right?
With everything and stuff, but it wasn't even that kind of conversation.
Okay.
I just had to stem some people. He needed some information just with dealing with real estate. But I was just listening to him like, I wish it were that easy.
Me too.
But when we start talking about those 5 things, that first one being insufficient capital, the key things to avoid that, guys. And feel free to call in. Let's see, right here, got people coming in on TikTok. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know why it's not moving though. Let's see. Says 51 new messages, people coming in on TikTok. Okay, cool. I don't know. Okay, cool. At least at that point. The ways to avoid it, we start talking about money, insufficient capital. The first one you got to make sure, and guys, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. The first way to avoid it, you got to know have a detailed business plan.
Okay.
And the key thing with a business plan, I think a lot of times people in their mind think having a business plan to get funding, acquire, to get to a loan person, a loan officer try to get a loan. You need a business plan. And I every year I tell people I have a business plan for my businesses every year. Been doing this for All these years I've been in business. It adjusts. My business plan is just my plan on how I'm going to move out of year.
Right. Right.
You know, how whatever. That's just my guide. I do it every year. I start drafting it in October, November. I start mapping out how we're going to do stuff and everything. And it's just a plan.
Right.
But I got some kind of guidance with doing it. Okay, we're going to start doing certain other things. I forecast my projections, how much I'm going to ballpark looking to make from tax season, how much money we want to put in advertising, how much money we want to put in the training, how much we got to pay for insurance, everything forecasted. So you at least, I have an idea of what I'm going to spend.
Okay.
I'm not shooting from the hip. Damn, I got to pay for this. Damn, I got to pay for that. Damn, I got to do this. I got to do that. You have to plan.
Okay.
I start in October every year, and I've said this a million times on this show.
You have. Guys,
you get that business plan. The reason why you don't have a lot of time the money because you weren't expecting certain things coming. There's going to be things that happen that you didn't plan for. It's just, it's just like life, right?
It's just business. It's like what happens.
But for the most part, you'll have a good idea of the fixed costs you have. Utilities, rent, insurance, your basic payroll and stuff like that. You can, and if you're forecasting, right, and I mean forecasting, planning how you're going to do your sales. If I sell 10, what is it? What year did cash money take over? The 99
and 2000.
2000. Man, get the hell out of my damn show with that crazy shit. I need that. Appreciate that. What it be like me? Appreciate you tuning in, man. Crazy. Man, we talk about business, man. I appreciate it. I need to wake up.
Right.
Man, I'm starting it. Crazy as hell. And that TikTok. But see, business, I think a lot of times people just, when we start putting down numbers, what I always say, numbers keep you accountable. And that's why a lot of times people don't want to budget and plan because they don't want to be accountable.
That's true.
It's easy for me to sit here and say, well, people didn't do this, people didn't buy this. What made you think that you were going to make them sales? What made you do this? Just like when I listen to the brother telling me that he can get a trucking company and then he can buy real estate. Like those words. Words are just dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My man said, hell yeah. Appreciate you tuning in and be like me. Make sure you subscribe and follow the channel. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe. But when we start talking about numbers and forecasts, numbers going to keep us accountable. Now I can't say and say have words like, I'm going to start this food truck. I'm going to have this restaurant. I'm going to have this club. We start putting pen to paper, putting numbers down. Now we got things that we got to look at and say, okay, this is what I got to stick with.
Right.
Right. And you're not in a situation where a lot of times, well, I got to get more capital. I got to get additional funding. I got to find some more investors. Like you can forecast, like, I know how many tax clients I can do in a day. Right. And I can be conservative. Well, I might say, okay, look, we can maybe do 5 in a day, but let's just project it off 3. Okay. We're not gonna make it good. Now, when I'm sitting here projecting off 3, I can sit here and calculate 5 days out, even though we might be more booming, what is the cost associated? I can project all that kind of stuff, right? When we want to sit here and do shows and all this other kind of stuff, probably a better example, I want to do a show. We got a show coming up. What's the cost for the place? AV, I know all that kind of stuff with insurance. I got it cost. It's gonna cost me $30,000 to do the show. I got ticket sales at this. Tickets, can I sell these many tickets? What I'm gonna cover? What it's gonna cost? And I gotta be conservative.
Right.
Can I cover that? This, that, and this how much money I can make, right? We can do that.
Okay.
If I sit and say, well, look, if I'm for the ticket sales that I'm selling, it's not making enough money to cover the cost, I don't need to do it.
Okay.
Right? Unless I got some kind of outside sponsorships or something like that. But those are the kind of things I'm talking about, getting the numbers to make you accountable. People don't want to do that.
No, like you always say, it's easy just to say, I ain't know.
Yeah.
Really, that's the motto. I ain't know.
I ain't know. Grown ass person, you ain't know. And you never will.
Right.
And so again, we're talking about the 5 common reasons small businesses fail. That first one being insufficient capital, but the first way to correct it is to have a detailed business plan, and the next way is try to secure that funding.
Right.
But the key thing is, one of my favorite shows, Shark Tank. Know your numbers.
Oh, definitely.
People just ain't gonna give you money. That's what when people call me all the time about these grants and stuff like that. I think the whole nostalgia with grants. I'm trying to get this together with that. I think one whole nostalgia with grants, to be honest with you, people just don't want to pay nobody back.
That's it. That's the whole thing with grants. You still got to do the whole. I mean, they don't even realize the process of doing the grants. You got to find a grant that applies to whatever business you're trying to start.
Let me be real for a second, right? Why you want somebody to pay for your damn dream?
Right.
Why would you want somebody to pay for your dream? And if no one pays for your dream or invest in your dream,
you're not gonna do it.
You're saying you ain't gonna do it.
Right.
What kind of shit is that? You know what I'm saying?
Is it a viable dream?
Yeah.
Is that realistic?
Yeah. So when you start talking about getting business funding, you might be going different ways. Okay, my family and friends, I might gotta, get a loan from use a credit card, this, that, and that. But we still looking at this plan, how I'm gonna start this business up, how we're gonna do it. You can't sit here and make plans on life, especially in business, based off hoping what other folk gonna do. If you really want to do, you're gonna make it do it. I always share that when I left my job, everything. What's up, Keisha? Appreciate you tuning in. When I left my job and I started working for myself full time, I was frightened, but I hated going into that job, right? I hated going now. And it took me almost 2 years to get myself financially in a position to leave. I really wanted to get the hell on.
Right.
And I shared that before, when I went to my ex-wife, like, hey man, I'm thinking about leaving my job. You think you help me with this loan? Get the loan. She's like, she gave me that side eye look. So that was my thing. Damn, right. I can't leave because, girl ain't gonna help me out with doing this and all that kind of stuff. Shit, not me. I'm leaving.
Right.
So I had to get my stuff together to do that. You see what I'm saying? I wasn't making plans based off that. So you got to really make sure that you can secure funding. We're going for that business start. You got to make sure that you got enough to start it. You got to make sure you got to have enough to run it. And you got to make sure you got for the the things you couldn't cover.
Do you suggest when they start a business, I believe it's what you always say. Don't expect to be successful right off back. So you got to have enough money to maintain that business in the lean times. Like when you first open, you may think, which we all say, you may think you got the best chicken recipe in the world. But if ain't nobody buying it, what difference does it make?
Okay, and it's relative.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because let's be real. Now, if you're selling fruit baskets, cups, bowls, and T-shirts and stuff like that, you don't have the same kind of cost somebody with a restaurant is.
Right.
And when we start talking about, to your point, like being able to go through that whole learning curve or experiencing certain things, you got to be able to cover yourself. And I think that one of the biggest things that kill a lot of these small businesses, we start talking about the funding, they don't have no advertising budget. They just figure that they can open up, post on social media, and people are going to come to them.
Right.
Which is insane. It's insane because your family and friends love you, but you're only limiting yourself to that hood,
circle.
Right?
Yeah.
So majority, I don't know the number. That's something probably need to find out. And that might be something you can Google. What is the average person, their amount of friends, that the average number that people have?
The average amount is between 1,000 and 3,000.
Okay, just the average amount
of followers.
Okay, cool.
And out that.
And that's the average person.
You only get 10% of people who see your post.
Okay, so with that point,
I'm sorry, 1% because you generally, if you got 3,000, you generally average a 30 likes.
Okay, so with that said, and you're looking at just on the 1% of what you have. So you sitting there like, if I made this post, I start this business up, I'm at discretion of just that little 1% of the people that know me, and also if they're even going to share it or even be interested in what I have.
Right.
How the hell you going to survive on that?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you can't really underestimate advertising, even knowing what you have to make.
Street advertisement, passing out flyers. People don't look at that kind of stuff anymore. Advertising, having somebody pass out flyers and stuff like that.
I'm talking about just paying for it. I'm talking about having actual funds allocated to do that, to know that. You have to make sure. That's why I say when you start these businesses up, guys, even if it takes you a little bit longer, even if you don't that month, 6 months, like I said, man, I mean, you're not talking to somebody just talking. I waited 2 years. I had to get my stuff together. And I ain't look back. If it takes you a little longer to get everything started, that's fine. It's much better to take a little longer to get started than have this accelerated way of quitting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, you get into it, now you ain't got no money. You done burnt through all your damn money. You done messed up your damn credit. You done killed some relationships. And now you really back to where you at. man, just say you might go back to your old job. I mean, I remember when I quit. Remember, I was told like, "Hey, Poochie, do it this way, do it that way, just in case you got to come back." Shit, nah. Man, I ain't getting no 2-week notice.
Right.
Hey, they never left them their keys and passwords. But I always say that you just want to make sure that you can cover yourself with that, guy. But key thing with that is make sure you got enough capital, make sure you got enough cash reserves to cover those operating expenses and those things that can come with those incidentals. But also you got that plan in place. Best thing you do, we start talking about having, sufficient funds, sufficient funds to be able to do that. And again, we're talking about 5 common reasons small businesses fail and how to avoid them. We just wanted the first one, that being insufficient capital. Again, guys, the call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. The second one is very important. I just think a lot of people don't want to address that, being the lack of market demand. Launching a product or service without sufficient market demand can lead to failure. And a lot of times people think that they got a good idea, they got a good concept, right? And I think that when you want to have the food truck, you want to have the restaurant, the club, you want to do the teach. I just think that what I've noticed, being a business consultant all these years, people want to offer something that they like, and they're not understanding that do the masses like, or if there are enough people out there to that want your stuff to make it, advantageous for
you. Right. What you always say, are you solving the problem?
Yeah. Now, if you want to paint pictures and you love painting and you're not worried about what's up, Chuck. So my cousin Chuck, I'm tuning in. Appreciate tuning in, Chuck. When we start talking about that lack of market demand, what I want, like I said, the artist, he want to paint, cool. And if he got people that coincidentally like his artwork or like her artwork and stuff, and they want to buy it, great. But if you just have the love for it, you want to do it, and it's therapeutic, that's great. But when we start getting into business, this one, I'm being real with you, Lab. So many people get into business what they like. This is what I think looks cute to me. This is what I want to provide. But what you like just fits your taste. Right. And even the people that do like it like you, will they be able to pay? Will they be able to or interested in paying a price for it that will make it advantageous for you? You see what I'm saying? To cover your costs. That's why a lot of people, I think, don't look at it.
I don't think so either. I don't think they delve that deep into the process of what they're selling, making, or designing. They don't look into that.
I remember when I was in grad school and I was talking to a couple of cats. We were just talking about different business ideas, and what I remember, what sparked it, the mahogany cars with Hallmark. I remember sitting in when I was in college in marketing class. Matter of fact, mahogany is the ethnic brand, right, for Hallmark.
But they didn't start at Hallmark.
Yeah, but check it out. It's a white lady. She was one. She got the black artists, the black poets, the black writers. Same thing she did with Indians and Hispanics. And she seen a niche. She seen a market for that, and she got them all together, and they made all those cards. So you sitting there looking like she's not doing that. She's not black. She's not white. But you have so many people that are black, African American, that go into Hallmark. They'll buy them, thinking, okay, this is something,
right,
all on them lines.
Supporting us.
Yeah, and they may like it because it has an ethic spirit on it. Right. But for the most part, you think this is us doing each other. Right. But this is a person that's saying that. Right. I'll talk to some cats and say, hey man, why don't we just get us our own little Mexican restaurant? Right. Because everybody look at me like I'm crazy. And I thought, and I still think it's a good damn idea. What up, man? Well, let's do this. The marketing man is there. We can do that. We can hire some Mexican people. We can just pay somebody to be that interpret. Like I'm seeing all this stuff that's there. I'm seeing the market. Folks looking at me like I'm talking Arabic. The funky thing about it, when we in the neighborhood, right? Who own most of the soul food restaurants? Asians. Who own most of the New Orleans seafood? Asians. Who own damn near most of these damn Boston seafood or whatever? But the only thing that that be getting me is we did catch my guard that the whole phenomenon about 5 or 6 years ago, putting crabs, butter, and Obey in a bag and charging $40. Right. Now that blew me away.
Right.
I can get some Old Bay seasoning, some crabs and butter, and charge for
it. What they call that place, a crab? Something I want to say, but
every crab. You
right.
got a juicy crab, a pretty crab, tasty crab.
Right.
That's what I get for going to college. I you know where in the hell? I would have thought
plastic garbage bag.
Put in a garbage bag, charge $40.
But
put
look,
a crab, potato, or onion. I'm dumb as hell.
On that story you just talked about, Ms. Mixlock posted a story about the guy who created buffalo wings, how he had his sauce, just tomato-based sauce, and he, put it on his wings, and I forget where it was at. I want to say it was in Chicago. It was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He was putting in his wings, but he didn't know how to secure it or, copyright it or whatever it may be. He owned the business, but as far as the intellectual possibility of the wings, he didn't. Mm-hmm. So he was friends with this white guy who was credited with the wings. The white guy took the wings with him and his wife, and they did the stuff to get the patent and all that. And now they're the ones who credited with the wings, and he's not. You get what I'm saying?
Poor fella.
Right.
Well, that happen all the time. Hey,
right.
Man.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, the idea that it's worldwide now, everybody eats buffalo wings in some form of fashion, was started by somebody who you don't even hear about no more when it comes to that.
Well, I don't mean sound low down. Anybody who come up with it who can deliver.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? that real talk.
Right.
When I started my cleaning business and everything, what's up, little bit? Little bit said, no, thank you. What you talking about? Let's talk about a little bit. When I started my cleaning business, I had a partner of mine was talking about it for a while, and he was just saying, the money you can make and everything like that. But I knew he was running his mouth.
Right.
So, I went on. I know me. He like, man, hey, I left him in the wind because I knew he wasn't gonna do it.
Right.
But when I started, looking and doing, hey, let me get these contracts and stuff like that. His mind went on it.
Right.
He was just there, and he because I know he was doing a part-time thing. Hey, man, I know how how I think.
Right.
I went past it.
Okay.
He never did say, "Hey, man, you took my idea," but like, man, come on, dog.
Right.
That wasn't your idea. Hey, you were so stuck working, working with a wife. Well, they telling you, hey, man, you can come work for us. He looking at the money they were making with them. He didn't have. I really don't believe he had in him to push that further. Like, and then just keep it real. I wasn't stopping him.
Right.
I wasn't taking a contract. You were talking, but I just say sometimes I'm a big proponent. Just because you come up with an idea, it don't mean you can deliver on
right.
it. That's just how that is. I ain't doing that original tax preparation, the clean the business, the still anything I done did ain't been nothing original. I've never been and I never said I've been an innovative person or creative person. I just know how to just make things happen.
Right.
And I just been blessed to do that. But when we start talking about that market demand, you got to make sure two key things to avoid that lack of market demand. Again, we're talking about five common reasons small businesses fail, but also give a solution how to avoid them. We said that lack of market demand, you got to do some kind of market research.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing surveys, you're just doing testers, spend a little time out there trying to figure it out. Some of your most successful businesses, when you even look at those Fortune 500 companies, one of the reasons why a lot of them are successful is because they put millions of dollars in research and development.
Right.
They want to find out, put a test, out there. I've seen too many times where you see the new Coke flavor. What they got now? The cinnamon Coke, spice Coke, or whatever.
But something like that. But they got that tropical.
Yeah, but they got people on the street,
right,
testing it out, see what they like, get a taste for it. Certain things. You have certain soft openings at restaurants and stuff like that, just to see what people have. Hey, what y'all want to have? Because you can sit here and just have and most people that are seasoned in them business, they understand that. We open this restaurant broad. We might, we want to have 8 items on our menu.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a soft opener too, where we got 15 different things. Let's kind of get an idea or barometer of what people like, and then we can go from there.
When McDonald's started, they had 4 items on their menu: a shake, hamburgers, French fries, and one more other thing. I think it was hot dog. And when they first started, when they first opened in 1954, 55.
Was that just what they were offering or they were getting intel?
That was just what they were offering. They was already open, the brothers who kind of started McDonald's before Ray Kroc took it over. But that's all he had and he had people out the door.
Really?
But he only had those. Hamburgers, French fries, and milkshakes.
But you get what I'm saying. Like, you got to get a feel for what people want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I don't have time or money to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So when we start trying to just do some kind of market research to find out what people want. Would this be a viable location? Would this, whatever. And you might just say, okay, look, we want maybe put this Hispanic restaurant. I'm not Hispanic, Mexican restaurant there. We may want to have the reggae bar or something like that going. Mm-hmm. Let's kind of get an idea if this is going to be viable there. You know, because that happens far too often. People put something in a place where it's not going to do well. Or we actually try to create a product or service that's really not needed at that spot.
At that
time, and you know, and I don't think people just they got a vision, but what I want and what you want, two different things. But what we do know, what you the one paying me, not me, not me paying myself. So we got to make sure that, and then most important, doing the market research, but just test that concept, like what we're talking about. You got to make sure that we're looking to see if this thing gonna work. And I just think that people, because they so stuck on what they want to do, they don't want to have the ego being away too much for them to get told, nah, this ain't a good idea.
This ain't happening.
That's why in the music biz, they got the A&R. What's up, Savvy Publicity? They have those A&R departments to kind of, I don't necessarily say chop them down, but also kind of like, hey man, I don't like it. I don't like it. Now we're in a world now with more people putting their own music out. We're doing it, but I think we also kind of see a lot of people that isn't going through artist development, and see how they can't interview, they can't. It's a lot of things they do miss out on that you probably wouldn't see. Years ago, the people that had, A&R to kind of go through some kind of development. But you got to make sure whatever, again, do that market research, but also testing that stuff out to see if that stuff going to work, right?
It's viable, if it's even worth the investment.
There have been plenty of things I've done over the years. Like, let's just try it out. We tried to do it, dog. That wasn't my lane or whatever. It don't work out for me and stuff. People come to me all the time, man, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, that ain't me.
That ain't what I do.
That ain't what I do and stuff like that. And I can just say, like, no, man. I mean, you might sell it, but you don't make that much money doing it. Because I've done so much and I've seen so much, especially even being an accountant. I actually have a good idea of like what certain things, what money certain things can do. I can be honest, like, no, that probably ain't the best thing to go out, or the margins might not be good for Deonte. But you got to just be able to test those concepts. And then, this that lack of market demand, people got to be realistic about that. What you want is what you want, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what the customers of the market is asking or demanding for. You got
dictating that,
and people really, 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 really got to be honest with themselves and thinking about that. Again, we're talking about 5 common reasons that small businesses fail, and some easy ways to avoid them. The third one is poor management. Ineffective management can lead to operational inefficiencies, employee dissatisfaction, and overall business failure. Many of the times people start businesses up and they had the business idea, and they're thinking about people that are close to them to help them run it. And you get your wife, get your husband, your son, or whatever, and you got a body to be able to do something. Excuse me, but you definitely don't have somebody skilled enough to do the job.
Right.
Happens all the time. You go in these restaurants, they got the niece or the cousin, the girlfriend, or your significant other child in there. They the waitresses, they the gatekeepers to your restaurant. They rude, do this, that, and that. And now, you got people that are meeting with folks that have no businesses doing that. And the manager at the end of it, because people get their household confused with their business. Because I can go to work, pay some bills and stuff. That's how I can be in operations. You got to make sure you got people that are actually very good about being managing and developing. We start talking about managing. We're talking about actually know what the business is doing, be able to employ people in certain directions. Also be able to make sure everything's going in an effective and efficient manner.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
What I always say: don't get busy confused with profits.
Right.
Just because that business got a line around the corner, that don't mean they're making any profits.
Right.
They busy, but they ain't making no money.
Right.
And the two key ways to make sure that you avoid poor management is you got to invest in leadership skills. You got to.
I mean, like training and things of that nature.
I mean, I just use myself for example. people know me. I say this being honest with you. I didn't start making money till I started going to some of them $1,000 seminars.
Yeah,
so I started going to them classes,
right.
started going to join them mastermind groups.
Mm-hmm.
I started putting a little change behind it because in my mind, like, you know, I watched from the sidelines for a minute, just say, okay, that's a scam or something like that. But then when I went to Chancellor's Hall, $1 million tax thing, I went to, what was that, in Phoenix when I went that time, turned my whole business around. It was like 5 or 6 concepts that I applied to my business, turned around just like that, right? When I joined with Bush Watkins, Lawrence Washington with that Black Speakers Empire and stuff like that, you know, we had the pandemic, but we went from what, couple thousand to 18, 15 some $1,000 with Mr. Short Dollar. It was just different concepts that, you know, I took and applied, even from the speaking side of it, that you be like, I don't know this, I don't want to do it. But when, you know what you're doing on your path.
Right.
You know it.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I can hope, I can pray, I can wish, I can dream that things will change. But there's some things you just got to change. So you got to make sure you're invested in good training, invest in yourself. You got to make sure that people know what's going on. You can sit here and just like the restaurant industry. I mean, I'm thinking maybe a couple $100, maybe $1,000. You just have somebody come in and just train your staff. You just train your staff for the customer that you want.
Right.
It's different. You just telling somebody what to do, how to work there. This with these. This is what you do. Greet them. Put it in the computer. But etiquette. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just how to talk to people.
Serve from the right. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That really makes a big difference in your business because your food could be the greatest. Your restaurant could be the greatest, the cleanest. But that first line of defense with service can collapse a business, and people don't really realize that. You can go into a bar and you be having your decent day, and that person can ruin it for you. You can go into a bar and be having a horrible day, and that person puts you in a great spot, right? Because they've been trained and know how to, you know, talk to people, come back, cater to them, whatever this, that, and that. And that's what, you know, when you invest in your people and train them, that's what's going on with that. And I just think a lot of times, because there's a cost associated, people, kind of like myself, but I always say this in regards to talking about management with doing it, you don't need an accountant to get started with your business. Okay. You don't need me. Right. One thing you need probably maybe the insurance guy to get that, but you don't necessarily need that attorney. You don't need that accountant. But so if you don't do it, what people every all the time, you think they'll get their own QuickBooks. Don't know nothing about bookkeeping. Right. They don't even keep their own checkbook. Right. They don't even keep their own damn checkbook. Right. But they figure they can get QuickBooks and they can do it themselves. They don't know nothing about assets, depreciating assets, scaling things. They don't know anything about it. Invoicing, forecasting, budget, none of this. Right. None of it. None of it. Right. But they can do it. Just like we just talked about earlier about everybody on social media. I know my rights. I know the laws. No, the hell you don't. You barely pass social studies. You barely pass social studies. How the hell you know the laws? Right. Huh? Right. But now I know the laws and all that kind of stuff. Come on now. You ask a person for the, like I said, the statute or wherever it comes, wherever, they couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. Yeah, but they heard somebody on YouTube talking about your rights and stuff like that, or their cousin, a lawyer. You know, trust me. That's why. Listen, just because there's no barrier to entry to start certain things, that don't mean you don't need them, or that don't mean you need to start them. Yeah, but you know, that's why I say, you know, the lawyer is not necessarily. I mean, the lawyer, the accountant is not need to get started. But when stuff happens, you got to pay them all kind of money to recover certain things. So we got to make sure that poor management, you got the right folks in place. And investing in leadership skills is very important. The second thing is establishing clear processes. I say this all the time. People, and that's what, you know, one of the biggest things that we do in the off season, after the tax season, is, you know, help businesses create systems and processes and stuff from the intake, processing, getting everything done, outtake, follow up, and all that kind of stuff. There's a concept with everything, you know, with doing it. When you don't have those kind of things set up, like you just in business, we just working. Right. You ain't got schedules set up. You don't have SOPs, standards of operations set in place. You don't have different regulations set up for your business. You don't have all that stuff set up. How you doing, you know, from a marketing standpoint, your checks and balances, you know, what are you doing? These are the things you need to get done through the year. And these are the 5 things got to get done. Do you have certain checks during each month to make sure
that stuff's in place. So if you are regulated by a county or a state or any kind of governing body, you got stuff in place. But because you're constantly checking it weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, you got all this kind of stuff. Systems got to be in place.
Right.
That's one of the biggest reasons folks don't have it. So now you don't say here, now you don't have none of this stuff in order. You scrapping, you don't forgot where it at. Huge
mistake.
Huge. Because most time people, I would say you just don't think about it. But that's why you're able to go to work every day. Work most time. Now I don't want to say everybody's special. Everybody's special. Don't get me wrong. But at your job, most time it's real. Let's keep it real. It's plug and play.
That's it.
Plug and play. You know, you might need to have somebody with a little bit more experience. They know accounting. They know, they know marketing. Certain. But for the most part,
it's plug and play.
It's plug and play.
Right.
Because why? The system is in place.
Right. It's already
the system in place. We get you been doing this for 15 years at General Motors. We just need you to come here and do this
part.
Right. And then they're going to do that. They're going to do that. And the machine is going to keep rolling. Right. The only time you probably need a little extra with somebody, probably your sales team. That's a little different. Right. Maybe sometimes you might need some creative stuff when you advertise and stuff. But for the most part with businesses, it's plug and play. Right. That's why we talked about before the CEOs, when they're going at a strategic level, the CFOs, they're at a whole different level because they're planning and stuff like that. So you actually do need a human for that. But everyone else is plug and play because the system is there. That's why the fast food places always have a high value because it doesn't matter who owns it or doesn't own it. It's plug and play with the people. The system is there. And most businesses do not start off, you know what I'm saying? In regards to, it's just say you want to have a landscaping business. You out there cutting grass and you out there doing this. You don't have a proper system set up from people calling, scheduling, and all this kind of stuff. And I get it. You got to start off somewhere. I get it.
Right.
But you got to understand something too, the system, because I might feel like you janky. I call you. I'm out here doing some yards now. Man, he might call me back, or and then you call me back and I ain't calling you damn back. It's,
right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no billing now. I might be funny about cash apping you. I ain't getting no invoice, and I don't want to do that. Right. And I might call you. Like you told me. When you were telling me about the working in a commercial real estate.
Right.
You the area manager.
Right.
You trying to give me a contract so I can do about 3 or 4 of your shopping centers.
Right.
But I'm Mr. Cutting in the yard using on my phone cash out, man. Can't
send me a proposal, send me some insurance, and
I ain't got none of that in place.
But you want to do these 4 shopping centers with 100,000 square feet of space, and especially the plants here and there. I need to know how you can accomplish this.
It can't happen,
right?
And that's why I tell people all the time: be ready for opportunities. When opportunity comes, you have your ducks in a row,
right?
You ain't got nothing to worry about it. But that's one of the biggest reasons poor management. And key thing, guys. Invest in your leadership, invest in training, but also make sure you got clear processes. I can't stress that enough. Because how many times you've been to the place you got, well, he the manager, he the supervisor, they don't know shit. They just in charge.
They just there.
They just the husband, they the wife,
son, the rest of
calling folks out. They ain't doing no kind of leadership and everything. And I'm a little funny about it because I'm former military or something, because that was one thing I always say about the military. Most of the time, you don't care if this person is male, female, gay, straight, crazy, not crazy. Can they lead?
Right.
Sarge, can you tell us what to do?
Can they keep this structure?
Yeah, what you do, and we don't care. What do we need to get done?
Right.
And people, all that other stuff that you do on a personal level is out the window. What do we got, or what do we got to do? How we gonna do it? All that kind of stuff. Can you provide those questions,
right?
So we can get the mission taken care of. And a lot of times people have people in management. That's above they pay grade. We're doing it. So you got to make sure you got the proper people in place. And if you don't know how to do it, pay someone on the front end, get you some consulting, get something in place to help you draft that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I had these conversations all the time, and we start telling people like, look, man, you ain't got no system in place. This your problem. They still don't. It's like a control thing. Now I got to do that now. But that's why when you start seeing successful businesses, we go to these organizations, your schools, governments. It's a system.
Right.
The process. Everybody has a thing that they do. You still got people running them so things can get funky.
Right.
But for the most part, the the structure is here. Everything's in place, and that's why I think a lot of times people miss with small businesses. Yeah, they just that system. And guys, I do have a video on Mr. Short Dollar we did a couple years ago, how to create systems. So I got that in place. You guys can check that out. Go to the YouTube channel, how to create systems. That's on the YouTube channel. But that's a key thing mismanagement. Again, guys, we're talking about 5 common reasons why small businesses fail. We're going through everything, but also we're giving you ways to avoid those failures. Feel free to call in and add to the conversation. 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. I know I got a lot of y'all aspiring entrepreneurs and business people out there. Y'all got questions about business, and I know you done did some things that ain't really worked or whatever.
Right.
Feel free to call in.
Now's the time to get that free information.
Like I always say,
free advice.
Short dollar ain't free dollar.
Right.
I ain't free dollar. So
optimal time to ask about business failures.
Yeah. The next one, guys, again, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894. If you just came in to the conversation where we're talking about 5 common reasons why small businesses fail and some ways to avoid it. Remember, guys, the YouTube channel is the main hub, Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. So if you just came in or you got to leave, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, take advantage of what the show information we're talking about now, and also the over 900 videos currently on the YouTube channel. The next one is we're at number 4. That's failure to adapt. Markets, technologies, and consumer preferences are constantly evolving. Businesses that fail to adapt to these changes risk becoming irrelevant, and it's super important. We talk about pivoting all the time. Again, we're talking about the reason why small businesses fail to adapt. That's just straight, evolution.
Right. We had that issue in pandemic. Remember?
Man, listen.
The business that adapted and figured out a way around survived. The business that didn't failed.
You take technology innovation is always going to cause you to change, pivot, and adjust. When you cannot adapt to certain things. Laws, new products, innovations, technology. This whole damn great, what was the thing? The Great Resignation. Nobody want to damn work no more. Everybody want to Uber and damn DoorDash.
Right.
All this kind of stuff going on. Right. You got to be prepared for when that stuff happens.
Right.
And when it happens, how you gonna be able to do it? How you gonna adapt? You got to scale up, scale down. Invest in more things. You got to be able to do that. You in business.
Right.
When you got a straight line way you want to do stuff, that's how it is. Think about it right now. All these fast food places, what they've been investing in the past 5-10 years, technology. They got kiosks, they got computers. They've shrunk their workforce. You want $15 an hour? You want a living wage?
Right.
I got you.
Right.
Ain't gonna be 10 of y'all. It's gonna be 3 of y'all asses in here.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Right.
You want a living wage? We're gonna give you a living wage, but we ain't gonna have all y'all working.
Right.
Real
y'all
talk.
Gonna have to find jobs elsewhere.
You want to DoorDash and Instacart? What's going to happen in the next couple of years? We're going to put more taxes on that kind of stuff. It's always going to be something to pivot. And that doesn't mean you can't do it, but you got to be ready for the adjustments and changes.
Right.
Right? When I got into the tax business, right? Rapid refunds, all this other kind of funky stuff. You coming in the office, you got your money back in 3 hours. About 3 hours. We outside.
Right.
Hey. During the glory of the early 2000s,
right?
Folks get their money back in a couple of hours. People, it was a beautiful business, lab, and people just going, ham and going crazy. What has happened over the years? Now we got people doing their own taxes, and they got more accessibility. You got people at H&R Blocks and Jackson Ewell. They told me they got they got people or computers that will check it, to give you advice. It's changed, right. I can sit here and cry and whine and stuff like that. It's different. Just when we start talking in the music industry, you got damn near a computer can do. It's not the same quote unquote sound as the original,
right?
But it ain't that much different.
They get to a point to where they can make a song for you.
Exactly. So you have to be, just realistic. When radio is a good example. When I first started, it was thousands of dollars to advertise on the radio. Thousands. And I really do believe, I had a cousin of mine work on the radio, work one of the major radio stations down here in Atlanta. And me and him had a conversation probably about 7-8 years ago. I said, man, it's probably longer than that. And I was just hollering at him, you know, and he worked down at V103. And I was just telling him, hey man, you don't think internet is gonna kind of take it? No. People want to listen to their cars, you know, as far as advertising, that was my thing.
Right.
And he just couldn't see it.
Right.
And I don't think it was just him. I think it was all of them. And now you fast forward to where we at now. I mean,
people still can listen to their cars right on that app.
Exactly. Even you listen to the radio, like, why the hell would I pay advertising on the radio when everybody can get it on the internet? It's just so much different. Right. And those prices have shrunk. And and that was just a clear example of people just really dropped the ball on certain things where you just probably could have been a little bit more forward thinking.
You think about the newspaper business, how that was.
Absolutely.
It was thousands of dollars advertising in the newspaper. Now they don't hardly exist because they didn't adapt to. I'm gonna give a good example of somebody who adapted to the internet as newspaper business. I really don't want to say the name, but USA Today, back in 2006, 7, they already had newspapers on the internet that you could read for free.
Who?
USA Today.
USA Today. Yeah. Are they paying now to look? Do you have to pay now for a subscription?
I think you do have to pay to look, but back then they was doing it for free. Like you can go on USA Today, pull it up, read the paper for that day. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end they'll like, you want to subscribe, whatever, get it at your home or whatever. But back then they were just using it as a kind of an advertising tool.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a movie that I would tell anybody to look at, just to kind of just give you the perfect example of a business owner and adaptability was the Hugh Hefner story on Amazon Prime. That is the ultimate example of being able to adapt and change. And it went from the whole thing when he left it was an Esquire magazine and started Playboy. He had writers giving articles in, and then they changed it. He was the first one that actually showed. I think most of them were showing top. He started showing the
bottoms, right?
And then he put in the centerfold. And then when that started shrinking up, that's when he got the casino. Then he turned around when that started drying up. That's when he got the cable channel. It was always something like when things were changing, he would pivot or whatever, right? But it was an ultimate example of the years when laws, regulation, technology was coming around. Hugh Hefner was very forward thinking, innovative of change and how things would happen, right? When new opportunities came and or things were taken away, how he was able to pivot and adjust. That or even Peaky Blinders, Peaky Blinders on Netflix, man. Just you see over the years how just how things happen. One door closed, you got to make another door. Open. Things change, how to adjust in there. You have to be able to be like that in business. One thing about it, I'm pretty sure some of us might be like that. I'm one of those people that I can juggle, 5 or 6 or sometimes 10 balls at a time. And I know sometimes there are some people that when they're working on something and they change, they lose. I can't do more than one thing. Let me finish this.
Right.
It's hard to be like that as a business owner because stuff gonna happen.
So they say you paying $200 to $500 to run obituary in the newspaper, but it used to be $2,000 to $3,000 to run an obituary in the newspaper.
Really? Dang. They still gonna make a change, but it's definitely totally different.
I mean, the physical paper now, you really don't see that much. Remember how you used to see those newsstands, had the paper, the magazines, and everything. I don't even think you see it. You see it somewhat in stores, like you might go in Kroger and see the magazine aisle. But for the most part, it's definitely not. It used to be the whole aisle. Now,
but the key thing is, I don't even see too much out on Sundays. When you want to get your coupons,
right.
But and then to go back to
there's electronic coupons, digital coupons now. Nobody do instant coupons. We run that card through, and you get your instant savings. They don't do newspaper clippings that often no more now. It's people who still do it, but a lot of the coupons are digital now.
But that's the thing I'm saying. Like when we start talking about being able to pivot and adjust. When you in business, guys, you gotta understand stuff gonna happen. If you cannot adapt and overcome, you can't adjust because a lot of things, the laws changes, regulations, opportunities. You got a t-shirt company, vendor change prices, or somebody closed down and stuff. It happens
all the
time.
And
how you adjust and react. That's one thing. Most people just really can't handle that. They just can't handle it because their main vendor did this. Look what went through. What was that last summer for last with the chip shortage?
The chip. What that was, supply chain was messed up.
But you sit there and look at the impact that they have. So from that point forward, the onus was on automobile makers. What? Don't get caught in this no more.
Right.
Don't get caught up in this no more. We done got caught up, but then now it's a whole push to, okay, now how we're gonna adapt with certain things and stuff. You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to do that, guys. If you want to be in a small business, that's one of the main reasons. And how do you avoid failure to be adapt? Number one thing, you got to stay informed. You got to know the laws. You got to know the regulations. You also got to know your other options, right? You can have a vendor that you use for your business, but you better have 2 or 3 more on deck. Right, you better know different ways. You might have a preferential way that you do your process, but you better have a plan B, C. You got to have those actual contingent plans, just in case things don't work. You got to stay informed. You just can't just sit there like, man, oh Lord, I don't know what I'm gonna do. They're gonna lay us off, Shit, your ass better be getting that resume together.
Yeah, right. You should do that every 6 months anyway. Man,
come on now, don't. If the ship is sinking, don't go down with the boat.
Even if the ship's not sinking, you still should be prepared for it to be hit by a missile and be getting ready to sink. People always ask me, why you always, update your resume? Why you always looking? Because you never know. I mean, to be honest with you, in companies and corporations, we are expenses. We are commodities, and a lot of times, expenses are let go when it's time for that bottom line to be balanced. So we're expenses. We're not. I forget. I'm sorry. Not capital or whatever.
Well, no. Well, payroll is probably one of the biggest expenses with more businesses.
Right.
So at the end of the day, when we start talking about, okay, how can we make it to be more profitable?
That's the
let
first
some
thing
people
to go.
off, right? So you got to, when we start again, we're talking about failure to adapt. You got to make sure you know what's going on to be able to with different options, technological advances, opportunity stuff. You got to stay informed. And then the next one is you got to be flexible. Man, you got to be able to pivot and adjust and do certain things. What you like doing may not necessarily be an option anymore.
Right.
Your preference way of going home maybe change. The routes change. They're doing construction on that way. We could actually make more money going this route, delivering these particular things because they're doing construction now. We got to go take an hour or 2 routes. We can't do as much.
Right.
We're not gonna make as much money, but we're not gonna close. You got to be able to adjust. Right. But we might got to pay folks a little bit more because they're driving longer now.
Right.
So we can't sell as much. We're paying more in wages, but we're still making some money. Instead of making $10 in profit, we might be making 7 or 6. You got to be able to pivot and adjust.
Right.
When we get to your point before, a lot of time when life going good, we get fat and we get comfortable. And when we do that, it's a penalty for that. Because when things happen, it's hard to adjust when you're comfortable, right? Let me see what we at right now. I think we're done. Okay, hold on 1 second. TikTok is asking for them damn verification stuff. When we get very, very comfortable in life, it's hard to be able to move a certain place. You've been at your job so many years, made so much money. You got in your head that they need me.
Right.
If I leave, they don't whatever.
I
heard that a million times.
Man, please.
If I leave, they're gonna be in some bad shape. Yeah, they will for a day.
For 2
days. Yeah.
And that's only because it's Friday when they let you go.
They will. But don't ever think you special.
I don't know why people do that. I don't know why people just think that, if I leave, it's going to be something. I never expect that. I always expect. That's why when I told you a long time ago, there's no decorations in my office. Because when it's time for me to go, all I got to do is grab my bag and walk out the door.
But I think all of us, even, job, business, personal, we ought to have them on when I got comfortable. We get caught off guard when stuff happens. So I don't necessarily say human nature, but experience teaches you to once it happens, hopefully it ain't catastrophic, but just put yourself in a position where it doesn't be as impactful as it was the first time. Because anything can happen, right? So, but that's why you just got to be careful. But failure to adapt, guys, that's a very, very, very important thing. You got to make sure that you are prepared for when you're in business, okay? Again, we're talking about 5 common reasons why small businesses fail and also ways to avoid it. So now we're at number 5, guys. And this is very, very important, guys. And that's ignoring marketing and sales. Even with a great product or services, business can fail if they neglect marketing and sales efforts, guys. Now, here's the deal. When we start talking about marketing will, a lot of times people get marketing and advertising, confused. Marketing is who you're trying to get your product to. Advertising is the actual vehicle that you use to get that to them. If it's radio, phone, radios, internet, whatever, TV, that's your advertising. How that's going. The marketing is the actual who, the what, the pricing and all that. That's what marketing is. And a lot of times, what we just talked about before, you got to make sure that you develop that actual target audience of product. We're doing. I talked to a client yesterday, like, hey man, you trying to sell something, but you need to work, find out who you trying to,
sell it to,
who sell it to,
right,
and focus your efforts on that. Everybody don't want your product or service,
right?
But you're pushing your promotions for everybody to see. Don't waste time to do that. I'm gonna give you a clear example. On my phone, if I go on Facebook, I can look and see other tax businesses, and they're advertising because probably in their Facebook tags, they probably put in tax businesses, this, that, and that, whatever. When I market mine, I put exclude tax businesses.
Okay.
That way,
I'm not marketing to the people that
are already my business.
Right.
I get so many of that on my phone, and I know these folks ain't thinking.
Right.
I don't need that. Only thing you're doing is give. Damn, that's a pretty clever idea. You give me intel,
right? But
you wasting money promoting something like that. You feel me?
I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Exclude tax business owners, exclude restaurant owners, exclude. You can put that on there. If it's a ladies' night or whatever thing, I can for my club exclude men. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's money that I've paid Facebook, Instagram, Google, whatever, to go to people that ain't got no
right.
So but it's going on all these guys for what the hell are they doing? Because I also got R&B lovers and this, that, and that. But the guys getting what the hell I'm getting about ladies' night. They got a male review.
Right.
That's money I'm wasting.
Right. I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to make sure that marketing strategy. You got to make sure you spend time finding out exactly where it's going and everything like that, because it go back to old school way. I done heard folks, hey man, Prince flies out. No, hell you don't. Not now, 2024.
It still works. That ground game is don't exclude the ground game. I'm
not gonna discredit guerrilla marketing technique.
Yeah, guerrilla marketing is still a viable marketing technique, because you think about this. I support guerrilla marketing because you're putting a face in front of and then let me get it right. Let me get this right. You don't just put anybody out there. You put people that that you've grown. You can talk to them before you put them out there. But think about this: when you at Walmart, AT&T comes up to you, asks you, "Hey, you got phone service?" That's guerrilla marketing.
Lab, I'm not disagreeing with you. You have instances where that'll be viable.
Okay.
But the vast majority of them, you don't need to have your ass out. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a carpenter and I'm a painter, I don't need to be walking around handing out stuff.
Okay.
I need to.
You need to have it on side of your van, though.
You can have it on side of your van, but we're talking about, for the most part, you need to be having on advertising. And I'm putting in a couple $100 in probably a 5 to 10 mile range of my office. I got this surface area. I need to have that in place. I don't need to be sitting there. If I'm a painter or plumber, I don't need to market all over Georgia.
Right.
If I'm sitting there and I'm 1 or 2 man operation, I got my spot. I draw my little
25-mile radius.
Yeah, shit, I think we can go 10.
Okay.
And just go right there. And I put all the money right then and there, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Because I'm just saying that even with my tax business, I do online marketing no more than 5-10 miles from that Riverdale office. I'm not running. If you live in
Valdosta,
north of 20, you're not in Alpharetta getting my marketing.
Okay.
You're not really in Atlanta getting my advertising,
right?
Because people not inclined to do that.
Okay.
If I can only service 300 people, just say 100 people, anywhere from 100 to 300 people at the tax office, right? Over that 4-month span. I can get that by my Riverdale office.
Right.
Those are people right there in Riverdale are fed. That's enough to make me fat. I don't need to advertise there. So why am I going to spend money trying to get people in Atlanta?
I get
that makes sense?
Right.
So I'm just saying, so people just got to be realistic about, I don't need to get all that. But that's why I said we're having that marketing strategy in place. You know what you're trying to do. Spend some time with doing that. The second one being that sales, you got to make sure, investing in your sales, you got to make sure you got the right people in place that's trying to do certain things for you. You got to make sure you got the right tracking pieces in place. You got to make sure you got proper pricing and all that in place. You throwing out an arbitrary number. Think about it like this, lad. I'm just just look at it. I would bet money. Call in 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. I bet majority of the people that I hear selling damn plates have never, majority of them, not all, but a majority of them don't have a cost per plate list.
Analysis, right.
Yeah, I bet they don't. They're throwing out a number,
right,
and they don't even know they're making any money,
right. It looks like they're making money because they got money in their pocket, but you don't know how much did you spend. How much was that chicken? How much was that chicken you had to buy?
And this is what folks will say. I spent $500 on ingredients. We sold the place for $700. We made $200. So I'm cool. But in actuality, they didn't make $2. Why? They ain't take care of food. They not accounting for food, fuel. They're not accounting for
plates.
Now they might about the place with they bought the food, but they're not accounting for fuel. They're not accounting for people. They're not accounting for time. You know what I'm saying? Like all that kind of stuff. Yeah, their time. With doing it. If you start doing that, the margin getting smaller. So is it really beneficial me standing somewhere for 8 damn hours, really selling, and that margin may spring to $100? Is it beneficial for me to make that $100? And actually, when you think about it, I was cooking before I got out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So 8 hours selling, probably another 3 or 4 on top of that. So we're probably talking about 10 to 12 hours altogether, just for $100. People, I ain't know when it happens all the time. Happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding that you got to have proper pricing in. You selling for 40, you might sell for 75. You might need to reduce them costs, whatever we're doing it. Most time people don't necessarily do that. It's a cost per, right? You know what I'm saying? When we start talking about anything you do, you got to look at that. And then we start saying it cost me $20 to make the plate. I'm selling for 40. Now I got 20. Can I sell enough of that $20 margin? Can I sell enough of them to cover my fixed costs? The kitchen I had to make everything in, the insurance, the advertising. Now I got to cover that.
Right.
Like, man, I'm gonna be real with you, Lamb. The vast majority of people out here that in business, they ain't did nothing to replace their job.
None of that.
They just replace their job. With the money they done made, they just replace their job. They just replace their job. And I'm just saying, like, you know, you might be a little bit more. Well, okay, I got this car, no, but they still, in essence, instead of check to check, they event to event. If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing where you sit here like, okay, now we stacking up this, we stacking up that. Your money ain't going out the same way you don't look at it. But it's pretty much how it is most of the time. You follow what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
You just replace. Now, if you want to do that, it's cool. Nothing wrong with it. But just the whole perception, because, man, I made, guys, look, I just made $40,000 $4,000 to deliver this load. But it costs you $2,500.
Right.
With fuel costs and
to
all
get
that
there.
kind of, to get it. People don't look at that.
Right.
People, I seen all the time people put that check on there. Look, this is what I just made.
Mm-hmm.
But what it costs you.
Right.
They don't never want to say that.
Right.
And they accountable because, for fuel costs, pay for your truck note, insurance, this, that, and that.
You down $300.
Now you back at your old job after they hire. It happen all the time, Lab. It happen all the time. But those are kind of things I want people to avoid. So it's been a great discussion, guys, in regards to talk about 5 common reasons small businesses fail. So what we want to do is just kind of go to roundabout, announce them all again. But remember, guys, you came in the middle of the show. Again, we talked about 5 common reasons that small businesses fail and also how to avoid them. You can always go back, check this video out in its full entirety on Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to it. Check out all the other 900 videos on the YouTube channel. But again, 5 common reasons why small businesses fail and how to avoid them. The first one being insufficient capital. The second one being lack of market demand. The third one being poor management. The fourth one being failure to adapt. And the fifth one being ignoring marketing and sales. Okay. I hope this information was beneficial for you guys. Definitely, guys. Remember, if you ever need any additional guidance or any kind of consulting, you can always go to the YouTube channel. But regardless of what platform, most of the details in regards to the company website, company office, all that, the contact information, in addition to all the social media stuff, that's on each video, except on Instagram and TikToks, right? So, but everywhere else, you can go to those places and actually see the contact information. Plenty of people find it because they call us all the time that have seen the videos. But I hope the information was beneficial to you guys. Again, I want to tell everybody from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate the love and support we got this past tax season. Your boy did real good, and I think I do a pretty good job trying to give back in the community. Oh, real quick, guys, you remember I am a proud member of 100 Black Men South Metro. We got our annual gala, Celebration of Excellence, coming up this in a couple weeks, April 27th at the Omni Hotel. I do have on all my social media platforms, except TikTok, the actual flyer to do it. Feel free, you want to get a ticket to go to the event. And if you don't, the link does go to the 100 Black Men in South Metro chapter if you want to donate $5, $10, $15, $20 to the chapter. We do a lot of great work. There's a lot of pictures and videos with all the work that we do in the community. So, just so you have an idea of what we do, you can check that out as well. Your boy, I go to at least 2 schools a month. I've been doing that for the past 7, 8 years and stuff. For the past couple of years, and I always have a good time with doing that. That's why I think I have a fair opinion on a lot of stuff what people say about young people dealing with it, because I've been dealing with everybody else kids outside of my own for the past 20 years. I ain't just talking outside. Yeah. I ain't just talking outside of my hip, but definitely, guys, you want to donate to the organization, it will be greatly appreciated. But again, thanks again for this past tax season. Thanks for supporting Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. I love you guys. Take care. Be safe. And I'll talk with you soon.